Hello guys. So in the last two tutorial actually we discussed how to show a projectile follows a parabolic path. Right. So this time we are going to solve a simple problem. So this time the problem is like this. A stone is thrown in such a way that its horizontal component is 30 meter per second and its vertical component is 50 meter per second. You need to find the total time of flight and the total distance traveled. You need to find the total distance traveled in the horizontal direction and the maximum height. So this is your problem. So this is a pictorial representation of the problem. You are throwing a stone with an angle theta, but this time luckily actually you are given these two components, the horizontal components and the vertical component. Here I put the horizontal component as Vx, which is given 30 meter per second, and vertical component given as 50 meter per second. So the first part of the problem is you need to find the total time of flight. So meaning if you throw a stone from this point, what is the total time taken for this flight? So how do you do this? I'm going to use s equal to ut plus half gt squared for the whole journey. So I'm using this equation upward, and actually I'm trying to calculate the total time of flight. So if I use this equation upward direction, the upward velocity is the initial velocity is 50 meter per second, so I can put here 50. And look at this, here I substitute 0 for the total distance. So meaning what? Actually if you throw the ball upward, to go from this point to go up and come back to the same point, if you calculate what is the total displacement traveled by this object is 0. Remember, this equation is actually a vector equation, so you have to take into account the direction. So if I apply this s equal to ut plus half at squared, if s equal to ut plus half at squared for the total journey, the total displacement is 0. So that's why here I put 0 is equal to 50 into total time is t minus, here minus sign because I actually apply this equation upward but the gravity is downward, so I put a minus sign, half into 10 into t squared. So 2 and 10 you can cancel, you get 5, so 5 t squared minus 50t is equal to 0. So you can cancel out 5, 50, you'll get 110. So t squared minus 10t is equal to 0. So from here if you take t as a common factor, t minus 10 which is equal to 0. So from this equation I can say t equal to 0 is one answer or t equal to 10. So how do you explain these two different answers? So meaning t equal to 0 implies actually this stone, you actually started to throw this stone, okay, when t equal to 0. So meaning at this point, okay, the position of the stone, and t equal to 10 represent, so what happened was it goes upward and came back to the same point. Okay, so t equal to 10 represent you actually started to throw, and t equal to 10 represent again it reaches the same point. So this is our total time of flight. And the second part of the problem is you need to find what is the total horizontal distance traveled by the stone. So how do you find this? Again, I am going to use s equal to ut plus half gt squared. So I'll use this way. Remember, these equations are vector equations. So whenever you use this, you have to take into account the direction. So s equal to ut plus half gt squared. I actually mentioned this even in the previous video. In the horizontal direction, there is no acceleration, right? So this component would be 0 because g is 0 in the horizontal direction. So if you apply this equation in the horizontal direction, you will be having only s equal to ut term. Okay, this term will vanish. So s equal to, what is the initial horizontal component? The velocity component in the horizontal direction is 30, which is given. So 30 into total time, okay, to travel from here to here, we said that's what here we found, the 10 seconds. So I can substitute here 10 seconds. So 30 into 10, which is equal to 300 meters. Okay, so this is the total distance traveled by this stone. So this is our range actually. Okay, so the third part of the question is you need to find what is the maximum height reached by this stone. So how do you find this? Again, it's not really complicated. I can use v squared is equal to u squared plus 2gs. I can use v squared is equal to u squared plus 2gs, let's say upward again. Okay, so v squared, okay, when the object reaches somewhere here on the top, the velocity you'll be having in the vertical component, velocity will be 0. Okay, so when the ball reaches this point, you'll be having only the horizontal component, Vx would be 30, but Vy would be 0. Okay, so if you get this idea, I'm going to use v squared is equal to u squared plus 2gs. So the final speed in the vertical direction will be 0. The initial speed, actually you throw the ball or the stone at 50 meter per second. So 50 squared minus 2 times 10 into h. So if you simplify, you'll find the maximum height reached by the stone is 125 meters. Okay, thanks for watching.